Valentina, who will most likely have the real-world manipulation. And of course, the Fredrin.
This,
interesting moves here.
The reason why I'm scratching my head here too with ONIC Philippines is, you know, why give up the R-Lot again for the third game in the row?
Yep.
And just kind of, you know, the way that we're seeing this hero alone, not just in this matchup, but in alone, how it's been rising and how even R-Lot himself has his own utility to him, like depending on how the playstyle you use, the emblem set you use. But so far, I mean, if you just look at the way Renzio's been doing things, it's worked out really well for them. So, you know, maybe that could be the change too. The reason why they decided to go with this first phase of picks, even the glue, right? Maybe the glue will help them a little bit more here, but still, I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a difficult time if the setups and the CC is used correctly from Smart Omega early on, especially.
Well, they're not afraid that there's an audit in their presence, and they want to trim down the choices of Kelra, the Harith, and you have the Moscow. So as we look upon the possibilities here of the same picks that Kelra can get, will they still trim down the tank choices of ONIC Philippines on their last man?
I really think they have to take out one of the options. Yeah, okay, they're still taking out the roamer, so I honestly, if I'm ONIC here, just put that Cho in the roam role and then just pick up the Akai already for your jungler. You're gonna be super tanky, but then the gold laner pickup you can also pick up now. Either just choose Beatrix or Brody. What would you rather have, and what would you rather have go to the hands of Kelra?
Well, if you want to reach a good distance, Brody's still good here.
Surprised we haven't seen much Melissa too, you know.
Oh, wait, Melissa's actually still open. Yes, that would be great for the members of ONIC, but no, it'll be the Claude.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Still a great answer for the Claude because there's a lot of ways that they can be ambushed again, and more of like the CC and the setups that you guys mentioned. They need something to escape the path to even give a counter round. So let's see how Smart Omega plays this. So it's a gold lane. It's the Beatrix of Kelra. Let's see what will be the tank option of Smart Omega. It's a Grok. Still.
Your roam Grok, actually Pilot, Jungle, Fredrin, ONIC PH. They can change the makeup of this draft with this last pick. Is it a roam Cho? Is it a jungle Cho? Is it the roamer or the jungle that they'll be picking up for the last pick?
I say.
Oh, that's why they can't pick up the Akai. They're up against a Valentina.
Yeah.
They have to think twice about picking it. They can't pick up the Atlas also. Oh, goodness, this show might actually end up going to the jungle. They're just going to pick up a roamer that isn't so punishing if the ultimate of the Valentina steals, or if Valentina steals their ultimate.
Okay.
Could be a Kufa? Might be lacking.
Martis.
Okay.
So we've seen it. We've seen him use this. So with Sensui, they're going back on the drawing board on how they wanted to win this game. So I believe this Martis for the knockup. You have a good amount of CC, but the damage will be fully relied on nets and super Fritz.
I feel like their bases are really covered, like for both teams, right? Like bases-wise, from early game to late game, it's all covered. Honestly, with this one, it just comes down to one who gets that momentum started quicker than the other, and you know, because you have to consider the fact too that you're going to have for the most part two manipulations to work against, right? Like, and whatever team works against those, especially when it comes to the objectives, is going to come out with the advantage from that. So that's crucial because you look at both these drafts and we get the last look here. They're very well balanced for both sides.
Yeah, and I feel like we're just going to revisit the story of game number 1 yet again. It's going to be up to the roamers and mid laners, their individual plays, how they play together as a pairing to set the tempo for their respective teams. Which ultimates are the Valentina going to be getting? How well can Stone time his ultimate and use the real world manipulation, if that will be the ultimate that will take? Same question for Super Fritz. It's like a version 2 of game number 1 in terms of storytelling and what to watch out for here and who to watch out for.
I love it. Let the story unfold. Smart Omega and ONIC Philippines, who's going to climb back up? The points matters now as it gets close to the window of the playoffs. Let's see how they manage to pull this through a second version in game number 1. Nets and Kelra, I say they needed a good amount of way of pressuring the Filipino Savage back in the gold lane.
Yeah, they're going to have to... I mean, that's exactly why you kind of see Kakadu parking himself there to see that eventually he might be able to put pressure on Kelra. We've kind of seen that even from the previous game, right, where both gold laners, they have a rather good start, and then their transition from mid to late game, they're carrying their games, right? They're carrying their team. So that's why Renmar even mentioned, you know, a lot of this does rely on these, the roam in the jungles even. And now the focus on Ryota here. Sensui's going to make his way. Can he get there in time? Still looking. Ryota finally going to fall here. Rising in the first blood. The Decimate comes out. Renzio falls, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Ryzen's going to scoot on out of there. All this before that first turtle of the game comes up. Stone also has to forced to use the flicker.
Yeah, so just an XP laner trade. In terms of crossing onto the mid of the late game, what we're going to be looking for here is the rotation of teams in the 5th and 6th minute. If anyone's going to be giving up a turtle, just so that they could get a gold advantage. Where are they going to rotate? Are they going to commit the full 4v4, maybe even full 5v5 for the turtle at around 5th and 6th minute? Those are going to be the timers to watch out for here for both teams.
Yeah, let's see how the trade goes for Barangay and ONIC Philippines. Oh, they're pushing out one.
Yeah, they're just doing zone out control here the best they can on Ryzen. They're going to get knocked up, though. Bad place to be in as Kekadu going to fall. Turtle is secured here, though. Now Renzio unleashing. Sensui trying to get out of dodge. They get the turtle, but they're running for the hills. Can't get away from the barrier. Sensui falls.
Great timing on the barrier there to ensure that Omega would get the overall win in that scenario. They lose the turtle, but they knew they could and should punish and kills. But Ryzen might get punished here if he could get away.
Who's going deep?
Dude, and the rest of the team here, they're trying to help him out. Razor's Wrath, though, gonna punish Kekadut, and Ryota falls too. Smart Omega punishing.
What is this, man? How Ryzen manages to put it right in his face? That's just so scary. I just imagine how he managed to pull that through.
Yep. Gotta respect that Fredrin. That's why the Fredrin's like the #1 pick all across the world right now. The damage you can dish out there with the Appraiser's Wrath. Busted. And right now, ONIC, they've gotta slow things down. It's not a massive lead for Omega, but they cannot afford to have that happen to them again.
Oh. They force out the flicker out Super Prince. So the pokes gen distance on the side of Smart Omega.
See, this is what I'm going to say it again. I'm scratching my head, right? You give up the R-Lock in the hands of Renzio, who's been playing it phenomenally the past, now 3 games. The guy's 3-1, and still they're looking for another setup here. Not going to be able to get away from that. The 4-man pretty much gank in the river. They find Kakadut, who is also struggling here. But going back to the point, even Ryota, right? Ryota's not having a great game on this glue. So now it begs the question, on the Philippines, you're having a tough start here. How do you crawl back into this?
So many questions. Can they even contest the second turtle is a big question right now for ONIC. If I'm ONIC, I wouldn't. I'd take it easy. I would get objectives elsewhere first, maybe try to push a turret. Once you get to confirm that there's a lot of members of Omega on one side, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But they're going to try to contest this. If they can get this, though, they got to get away. They cannot give up a counter-punish kill here.
They're doing it.
They're going to try. Ryzen does secure it. Now Kekadu has to flicker out. On the run here, should be able to escape just fine. The objective ultimately go in the hands of Smart Omega and Kelra. Just pretty much in vacation mode, doing exactly what he wants to do here.
Yeah, the switch up in the EXP lane.
Yeah, and that was the timer that we were talking about earlier. Who will be positioned where and who will rotate where at around the 5th minute turtle. We got the answer. Kelra immediately switched lanes, is now topside. Got a good amount of damage on that turret, so that topside turret for ONIC PH is going to be in dire straits here. ONIC decided to commit a lot to try and get that turtle, but they couldn't get it. Omega, big wins all across the map so far here. 7-1. Their counter punish. Their decision making again carrying on over.
Their gold lead is just showing, and it's starting to climb by the minute.
It's at this point, you're almost 6 minutes in. It's very difficult to really press any situation if you're on a Philippines. Even with the Cho on Kekadut, half the time if you even get in range and with his flicker being down, you're gonna get kind kind of deleted, you know, off the map. Even if you get the kickoff and you don't have the follow-up you need right now, because even just looking at the items here, they're behind in the firepower department.
Yeah. Enchanted Talismans here for both mid laners. They're committing on getting their skills popped off as quickly as possible. Gonna take a lot of time here for Nets on this Claude. The 3 items as we're looking at. Only has a DHS. Already ability to spare there for Kelra, so it might be packing the sniper a bit more. Renner. But it seems like he has Bennett in his hands right now. Just knowing that you have a lot of crowd control for your setters. The Terrify from the Valentina, the stun coming in from the Wild Charge, or the knockup coming in from the Wild Charge from Miko, that he can just immediately respond with Bennett's Rage right away.
We're talking about angles on how ONIC Philippines could bounce back. I say Kakadu is having a really hard time to make good setup plays. Mika's doing a really good job in holding him through, in making those and working those combo flickers. Just that wall, setting up right to his face. No contest on this turtle, but smart Omegas is still playing it, doing it simple. Take objective and go.
Yeah, this is a struggle. Sensui should be fine here, but you know, with giving up the turtles just like that, it's hard to see, but it's probably the best decision, right, for ONIC Philippines. Just give those up somehow. Try to buy as much time as possible, because that's the thing too with the Claude pick. You know, with Nets here, he did just pick up the golden staff, but he's going to need a little more time. But they might press the situation. Miko going to be quite low. They go in with a flicker. Can they get the kill? Ryota takes out Miko, but on the backside, now he's in trouble. 2 falls so far for ONIC Philippines. Renzio goes down too. Nice trade so far. Net's going to be in a bad position. BMI's back. Ryzen was waiting for him. Goes in with the Appraiser's Wrath. It's a killing spree, and he gets punished. But at least ONIC Philippines grabs a couple kills.
The counter punish has been the main tool here for Omega, with ability kits that they have. Look at Keller already freely hitting the mid lane turret. That falls. ONIC PH responded to that well, set that up for themselves very well here. But Omega, time and time again, they're just always ready to counter. And I feel like this is also ONIC needing to understand that they need to play around the real world manipulation of Stome a little bit more once Stome has it. If you know Stome has it, if you can't get that clear-cut win, you gotta get ready to get on out of there. Because if they're expending so much to take down 1 or 2 members of Omega, that Stome is still up, Kelra's still up, your key targets of damage dealers in the opposing team are still up. So ONIC need to be a little bit more cautious here. They're just over and over again getting counter punished. The targeting right now of ONIC isn't going so well for them.
I hear you, Renmar. They need to be more careful on their next steps, because the damage department, as we go back on how we look back on those items, is not yet enough. It's not yet even close to go up against Kelra, which could be a means of not risking everything right now and putting your eggs in one basket at this point in time. ONIC needs to take more of those moments to build it in the later stage of the game. No contest, no what so. You're just doing it right. ONIC Philippines, okay, they might have an answer, but it's not now.
Oh my goodness, ONIC, this is how this series is going to end for them. It will be a heartbreaker. Omega for sure will be happy with the learnings that they got in game number from all the games so far. This is them just playing again in peak performance. It's like we talked about how this could be a potential repeat of game number 1. So far, it's just a repeat of game number 2. Yeah. Omega doing everything they need to do to make sure ONIC don't meet their conditions or delay the winning conditions of ONIC for as long as possible. And with this Claude on the side of ONIC, yeah, it's delayed. Yeah, at this point, I don't see ONIC finding a way to come back until maybe around minute 15 to 17. Yeah. But that is if ONIC don't get like an absolutely crucial major pick-off here, which the chances so far are very low.
We're just looking at ways on how ONIC to bounce back, because on the lead of 6.1 in the side of Omega, their damage hurts like hell as of this moment, and if you want to add 5 minutes, you need to have great defense. Because for ONIC here, they can't even go out the base, they struggle to make a setup, and as how we put it, this is one way of just caging them and not being able to get those objectives. And we have a push right down bottom.
Well, Kelra had his eyes set on where Kakadu was setting up, even giving him the sniper shot, gonna force him back. Because the play there was for Kakadu to come in from behind, and hopefully kick Kelra, right? That's the plan, but not going to happen.
That was close. And Kelra sensed it.
Yeah, they had an idea. They saw him. They knew he was there. So now ONIC, it's gonna be defend for as long as they can, and it's up to all the members of Omega to just not be overconfident. They still have to respect the pick-off capability of ONIC, the punish capability. If they overextend too much, now, but ONIC though, yeah, it's gonna be quite some time until we see them fight back.
Well,
Nope.
they're forcing them out of the base with 42 seconds for the main objective to go. I say their defense could buy them more time. But with the lineup right now, yes, they need to respect this fact. But if they're over and they're over the map right now, they could be pick off.
Okay, they go in with the Way of the Dragon, but they're going to have to flicker out. They still might look to go for it, but Kelra just going to send the bullets flying and send ONIC Philippines back here. So this is what we're saying, right? Nets is starting to get to the point. He's starting to have a little bit of that damage. He's got probably almost 4 items completed here. So as long as Nets can do that, continue to farm up, and Super Prince doesn't go down, that is the best case scenario for them. Right now, what I would like to see is when they actually get confident enough in that point, they contest, maybe not this Lord, but maybe the next one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the next one they can actually contest, because they should be able to defend relatively well against this one.
Yeah, I like what ONIC are doing here. They decided to float bottom instead. Let's see if they're going to continue that push up until the turret. They know they won't be able to. The members of Omega are already on their way mod, so they decide to recall back. Free Lord there for Omega, but yeah, ONIC right now just running guerrilla tactics, getting pushes and resources in other parts of the map, knowing that Omega are barely giving them room.
Well, is there a room for ONIC Philippines to grow a chance to go up against the late game? Well, it's just, that was just 3 minutes? It's 7.5k gold lead.
Yeah,
Oh, smart Omega.
When you have this kind of lead, right, and you're really lacking in pretty much every area here for ONIC Philippines, it's hard to do much, all right? And then aside from hold on at this point. So now they've got to do that against this Lord. Marching down, look at that. Already the damage even on Sensui, who's supposed to be one of their front lines, just getting quickly brought down to half health. They're going to lose that inhibitor turret. And right now it's just ONIC Philippines holding on for dear life. Still going to work on this Lord here. Keep an eye. Renzio also might look for something. Use the final slash, but not going to find any connection there. They lose another turret. ONIC Philippines now possibly will lose their last one. Does Smart Omega want to punch this one in? So far, so good. But it looks like they might just back off here, trying to actually see if ONIC Philippines wants to connect on anything, but doesn't look like it.
Whoa, Smart Omega. Well, they're probably waiting for the waves to come in. There's no point of hesitating now, but look.
Conceal.
They use the conceal. They're about 10k
there it
ahead
is.
now.
Miko!
Miko gonna go in with a wild charge, and just look at that damage coming out. Kelra unleashing. There's the final slash coming out from Renzio to fall. ONIC Philippines still holding on here. Nets also has the Blazing Duet, so he's gonna be looking for his own angle again. Looking for a successful defense. They hold on for a little bit longer, but the damage from Stome has to be respected. Another wave going to come in from the mid lane. Can they hold on for a little bit longer? He has to go back here. Stome extending a little bit. Sensui trying to buy some time. Can't find it though. Another falls. That's going to be it. Smart Omega in a dominant fashion. Another almost 15-minute game takes the series 2-1.
A tremendous showing for